Oh, Rob. I can't get enough of your love,
Well,
baby.
don't lie. We know that Jeff Landry's coming up on the show, and you drop that in there. But
No, I did not.
you love talking to him. Just admit it.
So, Jeff.
Yes, ma'am.
Barry White, yes or no?
Oh, yes.
That was awesome. He answered like, yeah, Vern, you're such a dummy.
But he's the Attorney General. He has to take that split second to think
Yes.
about what he's about to say.
Yes, he does.
Which is
That's
great,
his
which is what makes
job.
him so good.
That's right. That's right. Speaking about split second stuff, Lafayette Parish School Board, real quick, 20 seconds or less.
Oh,
You
well,
so
look, I have no opinion either way on this issue.
Yeah.
We certainly didn't want the office injected into, what's a political debate, and we simply wanted to make sure that that the use of our opinions out there were done in the proper context, and so we sent a letter to all of the board members, and I think that letter has been circulated in the press, and if anyone has any concerns about it, I think the letter is very self-explanatory. How about that?
Okay. All right. Yep, that's what
How
I'm
about
wondering.
that? Like that. You can take the man out of Acadiana, but you're still going to get a how about that at the end of his statement. Let's talk about sanctuary cities. We are, there was a long time it was kind of circulating around, Lafayette's one.
Yeah.
Then I think we got it cleared up that it was the diocese, and it was just kind of in a weird way.
And then there was a court, not the diocese, it was a court case.
Yes.
A court case, and then it was about the sheriff's office. So, but then there's this question about New Orleans.
I was about to say, then there's New Orleans.
Look, what I think is real important here for everyone who cares about this issue, and I believe that the majority of listeners and the majority of actual citizens in the state of Louisiana care about and are concerned about illegal immigration. And, since we began this debate last year in the legislature, at which time we had a bill by Representative Valerie Hodges that went through the House of Representatives in a bipartisan fashion and then was killed in the governor's controlled Senate, that we have shined a light on these issues. And it's important. We had an opportunity during last year to have a discussion with the new incoming sheriff in Lafayette Parish, a great guy, Sheriff Mark Garber. We worked with him in the concerns that we had and the policies that had been implemented by his predecessor. He changed those particular policies. So we removed, Lafayette was removed from the sanctuary city list that, of course, was kept by, some advocacy group out there. And then, of course, New Orleans, which was interesting. We always said that cities that engage in sanctuary city policies are violating federal law. And when you violate federal law, your funding through the Department of Justice, your federal funding is in jeopardy. We said this long before Donald Trump even became president. And New Orleans said all along that their policies did not violate federal law. And this was done in the testimony that they had in the State House last year. 90 days after we had those testimonies, the city of New Orleans capitulated and changed their policies. And they did so right before I went and testified before the U.S. House Judiciary Committee up in Washington, D.C. What you're seeing is that cities are recognizing that the Trump administration is going to hold them accountable, that the president means what he says, as well as General Sessions, that there is a rule of law in this country, and we're going to follow that rule of law. And so what we did yesterday was we brought the bill back up. We listened to some of the critics that are out there, from last year. We narrowly tailored the bill. And what we want is a law that we hope we never have to use, but it serves as a means to ensure that municipalities and jurisdictions around the state don't engage in sanctuary city policies, which we believe and are proven to be a public safety dilemma.
Wow.
To me, it's a follow the rules or don't follow the rules.
Yeah.
New Orleans has come out and said that, we just don't make it a part of our process to ask when we arrest someone or when someone gives a tip or et cetera. But then that's not, you know what I'm saying? It's just really hard. They're speaking out of both sides of the mouth because they're saying they don't ask these questions, but that's federal law. Is is to do your due diligence on that. I don't know how you justify that, especially from a legal point that you're part of.
Yeah.
So what if in 3 years they get arrested in another state?
Oh, well, what do we get to pick and choose? It's okay to rape, but it's not okay to murder?
Bernie, you hit the nail squarely on the head, and that's the problem. During the Obama administration, started under Eric Holder as the Attorney General, there was this theory that we could pick and choose the laws we wanted to enforce and not enforce, and that is dangerous. We should be a nation of laws and not of men. And you're exactly right, and that's what we're saying here. Look, why would you want to take away? Why would any mayor want to take away the toolboxes, the tools that in the toolboxes of their law enforcement officers that they use in order to keep their city safe? And that's exactly what sanctuary city policies do. We've seen it time and time again. It started with Kate Steinley's death in San Francisco, the young lady who was murdered by an illegal alien who had been in the custody of the San Francisco Police Department prior to him murdering the young lady. Right. We saw it again last year here in Louisiana at the loss of life of Chief Spencer Chauvin over in St. John the Baptist Parish, an illegal alien who had been in custody, who had violated laws of the state of Louisiana, who had not been deported. And again,
was there not also a case in Lafayette of a person who was driving who was also illegal and ended up killing someone? Yes.
Several years ago, there was an accident. If I'm not mistaken, I think it occurred out on West Congress, where an illegal alien driving under the influence, if I'm not mistaken, killed a young lady. Yes, there are countless. There was one in Ville Platte that killed an elderly man in a car accident. But what's important to note is that these are illegal aliens who are committing crimes after they come into the country, right? They're violating our laws after they come into the country illegally, by the way. And then these advocacy groups out there say, well, no, it's okay. It might have happened anyhow. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no excuse for that.
And it's not your job to bring your own thoughts and feelings into it. It's your job to follow the law.
That's exactly correct. And what do we tell? What is the message that we send to those people who immigrate to this country the proper way, who go through the process of naturalization, who spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, sacrifice, time, money, and treasure from their families in order to become American citizens? What do we tell those people that use the process properly? Oh, guess what? Don't worry. Your government says for those who cut the line, they get the first, they get to go in first.
Theoretically, could someone who paid all that money to become an American citizen sue the federal government to get their money back for all the attorney's fees?
That's an interesting concept. I'm sure there are plenty of
isn't there a lawyer you think somewhere that would take up that case? I'm sure there's a lawyer
out there listening, scratching their head.
I mean, I've been wondering that. I really sincerely have. How is it that some people can just, just play against the system all these years and they get away with it, and these other people, I mean, they get raked over the coals, so to speak, because they're following the rules, and they get thousands of dollars in debt because they've had to pay for this because they want to do it right.
Right, that's exactly right. And again, what you're seeing there is exactly what we've been saying, is that there's an erosion of the rule of law. And what it does is it sends a signal to those people who want to follow the law that, don't worry. You really don't have to follow the law. It's okay in these particular circumstances. I mean, why not allow certain kids, and maybe, when you get to the 11th grade, why don't we allow them to cheat on exams? I mean, why not? I mean, those poor kids are trying to graduate from high school, right? I mean, we should allow some of them to just maybe, look on the other person's paper, and the teacher can look the other way. Well, but why don't we? Why do we have that rule in that classroom? Again, it's the same concept, and that's what we're dealing here.
Wow.
Attorney General Jeff Landry, great information. We'll continue to follow this. I know you testified yesterday, but this sanctuary cities issue I don't think is going away anytime soon.
No, and look, what we do is the bill is now moving to the full House. We hope that all listeners out there would call their state representatives, urge them to vote for the bill. We hope that y'all continue to track it as we hopefully will get it out the state House and it moves over to the state Senate.
Awesome.
Sir, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
It is
right.
8:22 now.